Good morning. Welcome to Morning Brew with, yes, it's your girl Germaine, and we are here with our Ezra coffee today. Yes, so hopefully everybody's doing good. Is everybody doing good? I should never assume that. Let me ask, how are you doing today? Hmm, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. Listen, let me know what you're drinking and where you're chiming in from also. But I'm doing okay today. I am. I woke up this morning in my right mind. Well, I don't know if I was so much energized. I was a little tired, but I did wake up. I got a lot done before coming on to Morning Brew this morning, and we're here. We're here, and today our brew, we will be talking about the voice. Your voice exposes truth. We're gonna get into that, okay? But before we do, I want to tell you guys something funny. Uh, I decided to go on TikTok live on Tuesdays. I said, okay, I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So I decided, with no promotions, letting nobody know, only on the episode the day of I was going live, on my Tuesday episode of Morning Brew. Well, I decided to go over onto TikTok and go live. Clueless. Totally clueless. I had no idea and still don't know exactly how TikTok works, but I managed to go live and I managed to figure things out while I was in this live, and the thing is, thank God for people giving you grace. So people will hopefully give you grace, but people was popping in and stuff like that. And then I also realized TikTok will also put bots into your live so you don't feel like you're all by yourself. And then I had one of my faithfuls stop by. Leslie stopped by in my TikTok live to really help me navigate through just her presence being there, her asking questions, and I began to just find my voice over there. Okay. So TikTok is something, it may have some challenges. I may go through some things, but you know what? I decided I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back on TikTok live on Tuesdays during a lunch break around 12:30. So Morning Brew, this will be the spillover into the lunch break time starting at 12:30. I'm going to try it again. I- So if you are hearing me, you can join me on Tuesdays at 12:30 on TikTok live. Actually, you know what? I think I have a graphic. Give me a second. Let me just pull it up on the screen. Hold on one second, because yes, I do have a graphic for my TikTok live. I just got to figure out where it's at. But hold on, bear with me, okay? As we are getting ready to go into our morning brew for the day, I just wanted to share with you that I did try my hand live on TikTok with no advertisement. I didn't advertise any information. I didn't let people know I was coming, but I was there. And the funny thing is, I was there for about an hour. All right, hold on. I'm bringing my new graphic up with me going live on TikTok. And hold on one second. Okay, hold on. I am grabbing it, but I would love to have you guys. Here it is. I would love to have you guys join me. Look, I would love to have you guys join me over on TikTok Live on Tuesdays for the lunch hour at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you can come over for the spillover. Okay? All right. Let's get back into this. All right. So once again, today's brew is Your Voice Exposes Truth. So let me just go a little bit into this, okay? All right. So there are moments in life when staying quiet feels safer. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to bring any attention to myself. I'm just going to be quiet. Shh. People don't need to know. They'll figure it out, right? Mm. We probably all had those moments. hmm I know I have. There were times, being in settings, I wanted to say something, and I know what I was going to say was probably going to bring some value to what the discussion was. But you know what I did? I decided to be quiet. Now, who does that really benefit? Nobody. Doesn't benefit anyone. So, with that, let's get more into this, okay? All right. So, hi, Lynn. Lynn Barrett Green over on Facebook. I'm sorry. Yeah, Facebook. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. I miss you, girl, being in my comments. So just if you can, just say hi to me in the comments so I can know. I could just feel your presence. Okay. All right. So once again, we're talking about your voice exposes truth. And yes, there are moments in life when staying quiet feels the safe way to go. But when speaking up, it might cost you something. It might cost you something. Your comfort, your reputation, even your acceptance. And most times, we don't want to be uncomfortable. We definitely want to protect our reputation. And we want to make sure we're accepted in the in crowd. Are you that individual? You don't want to disrupt nothing. So, you know what? It's best that I just stay quiet. Ask yourself, am I that person? Hmm. Am I that person? Nope, I don't want to bring no attention to myself. I want people to like me. You know, are you that person? Really think about that because right now we're living in some strange times. And when I think about it, when I think about how our history teaches us something powerful, silence protects systems, truth will expose them. And right now, we're living in such strange times right now that it's about exposing some systems, disrupting some things, you know? So many of the stories that changed the course of history were not comfortable stories. They were courageous ones. Think about it. Think about those trendsetters. Think about those that left a lasting legacy for us to be able to have. As you know, in this time, the times that we're living in, people are trying to erase all of that, take it all away. But the thing is, our, they benefit from our history. They benefit from our contributions every single day. But I know they want to whitewash it. Good morning, sis. So, um, but yeah, they want to whitewash our history. They don't want us to get credit for anything. That's why it's so important. It is so important as they are disrupting our education system, as they're trying to take Black history out of our school systems. It is so important that our voices on our platforms, that we raise our voices and that we allow our voices to expose the truth. That is today's brew. Your voice exposes truth. So it is important. And it's important to be wise as you are conveying information. I always would say, when just watching Jasmine Crockett, and I know she's going through, the election didn't work in her favor, but listen, that's a powerful voice that truly will expose. And it took, I believe, all this other added stuff in order to shut her down. So did she really win is the question, right? Yeah. But it doesn't stop her. Her voice is powerful. And the one thing I love is how she keeps her composure. She knows her stuff, and she exposes the lies. She allows her voice to expose truth. Now, um, so this is the thing. As you all, well, maybe you don't know, but I decided to, let me put this up on the screen. All right. So, but before I put this up, our blacks, well, let me put it up on the screen. Let me close some things down. Yes, join me on TikTok Tuesdays, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live TikTok. All right. But let me put this up on the screen. Let me try. Okay. So Blacks In, I've teamed up with Teresa Merritt Watson, who is the owner of Blacks In, and I decided to do a fun fact every single day that we go live on Morning Brew. Since they want to take our education out of our school, Black history out of our school systems, the education system, it is our responsibility to make sure we equip ourselves and we share the information so people can become knowledgeable. So please, you can definitely visit on her Blacks In on her YouTube. I mean, she's on Facebook, Instagram. Also, her calendar is available. This is the calendar, powerful, powerful. Thanks, Gerard. Powerful images, really highlighting our history through this 12-month calendar. And what's interesting, I'm going to put the information right now in our comments so you can always gain access for how to get your copy. Because when I realized, listen, we are much bigger than the shortest month of the year, much bigger, right? So let me post this if you are interested, and everybody should be interested because I pull my Blacks In facts from her calendar to be able to share. But what I also do, I also make sure that it is aligned with our message, okay? And our brew topic, what we're talking about. So let's get back into, I did put it over, I'm going to put it over on Instagram too. So anybody chiming in, oh, did I do that right? I did not do that right. Let me go back. Okay. All right. So I put it over, there it is, over on Instagram as well. For anybody chiming in, they can definitely click on the link to get their copy of the Blacks In calendar. So the fun fact, so let me say this, that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is refuse to let the truth stay hidden. Okay, now let's go into our Blacks In fact of the day. So we will be highlighting, here we go, here we go, Miss Ida B. Wells. Yes, now she aligns perfectly with our morning brew topic today. Her voice exposes truth, right? So Ida B. Wells used investigative journalism to expose racial violence and injustice in America. She used her skills, investigative skills. She used her voice. Okay. So at a time when many refused to acknowledge the truth, she documented it. Boy, this aligns with where we are today in society. All the lies, all the propaganda that's being spread right now. How do you filter through all this information? Social media, the highways is so cluttered and clogged up, so many different voices, so many different things going on. And it's like, how are you being effective to use your voice to expose truth? I just want you to think about it. I'm gonna leave that for you to think about. But I want to talk to you a little bit just about Ida B. Wells and how she refused, um, how at times when many refuse to acknowledge the truth, she documented it. Journalism, the power of journalism. How that whole industry right now is changing drastically because of the new systems that are being put in place. But you know what? Once you gain the skills to do something, they can't take that from you. Now it's your job to see, how do you want to use that? How do you want to use that as your power? How do you want to use that as your voice to expose truth, right? All right. So she didn't just document it, she researched it and she published it. Publishing, you know, publishing, that's my area, 18 years plus. a lot of books later, bestsellers included. But for me, it's so important the power of one story. And so we're spotlighting hers today. But her voice did more than report history, it challenged the systems that allowed injustice to exist. Thank you, Miss Ida B. Wells, for your courage to be able to use your voice as a weapon, a tool to expose truth. Mm. All right, guys. So let's get back to, and that was our Blacks in Fact for the day. Thank you, Miss Teresa Merritt Watson, for you being a visionary to even birth this. And thank you, Gerard Harmon, for your visionary to be able to make it, to literally bring it to life visually. So, all right, guys, but now let's get into our point of purpose segment so we can dig a little deeper into this, okay? Let's keep digging a little deeper. Um, our pour into purpose segment. Okay. Truth requires courage. Truth requires courage. Why do I hear my dog getting into something she don't need to be in right now? Penny, Penny, what are you doing? Sorry, guys, this is just a quick moment, but I hear my dog in stuff she don't need to be in right now. Penny, come on, Penny. All right, so truth requires courage. Not every story is easy to tell, but stories that challenge systems often become the ones that shift culture. So, as you know, we always talk about, well, I do here on Morning Brew because being a publisher, for me, I'm driven by stories, people's stories, the power of one's stories um right now, let me just the power of one story, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later. I'm driven by people's stories. And so everyone has one. So when you think about it, your story, what is that story? Is it a story of courage? Or is your story a story that's going to challenge systems, that's going to shift culture? And even if it's not, don't think your story don't have power because your story can shift and change lives directly. Okay? All right. So let's continue to pour a little more into purpose. Documentation creates power. Documentation creates power. Write the vision, make it plain, right? Write the vision, make it plain. So when you are writing your story, it's not just to speak it, document it, write it. That's why it's so powerful when you put it in a book, when you document it, when you publish it. Okay. Ida B. Wells didn't rely on emotions alone. Nope. She gathered evidence, facts, and records. Now, would you say that strategy, especially during her era of time, when it was probably more challenging? No, it was more challenging to be able to let her voice be heard, right? As she's fighting strategically. And so I want to continue to pour a little more. Your story can challenge what others accept. Your story can challenge what others accept. So the experience you lived through may reveal truths that others are afraid to confront. Let me say that again. Your story can challenge what others accept. And a lot of people are accepting lies. A lot of people are accepting lies. So those stories can be challenged, right? All right. The experience you lived through may reveal truths that others are afraid to confront. Mm. All right, guys. Before we go into our reflection questions, I just want to say once again, the builders inside the builders lab, and that's what we're building right now. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. Inside the Builder's Lab. That's what we're creating right now. And so I want you to keep in mind that we don't just tell stories. Mm-mm. Nope. Let me pull this up real quick. All right. There it is. So inside the Builder's Lab, we don't just tell stories. We structure them, we clarify them, and we position them so they carry weight. Okay. And so the Builders Lab is open now. You can gain free access through our school community. I'm going to put that link also inside of our comments that you can join the school community for free. It is available. The lab is open. It is available. And hold on. Let me put that over here. What you say? Clock that T. You so funny, girl. Let me put that over. Okay. And I'm going to also just add it over in our Instagram. All right. So the school community is open at your own leisure, your own pace. You know what? Just stop by, and go through it and see if it even resonates with you. If you're in a position right now and you've been thinking about your story, you really been thinking about, I know I need to do this. I need to find the time to do it. When do I do it? Or if you just need to bring clarity to your story to see the power in your story, then I encourage you. This is my gift to you. Stop by. It's free. Join the community. Click on the link. You can click the link and join the community. And let me do this. Good morning, Leslie. Leslie, girl, I had to tell them about me going live on Instagram, on TikTok, and how that whole experience was. So that's how I opened the show. And I invited them over next Tuesday because I said, no, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm going back. I'm going back because I'm going to equip myself, right? And then Leslie shows up and she saves the day. Yes, Leslie, you saved the day over on TikTok. So thank you, girl. Thank you for always showing up. All right. So let me get back into as we are bringing this to a wrap. But yes, please make sure you guys, if you haven't, just stop by the school community. But right now, we are getting ready to go into our reflection questions, where I have to remember to close this stuff out. Okay, the reflection questions where everyone can take part in. Yes, I like to leave 2 questions for you to take throughout your day, your week, your month, however. But every morning brew, you get 2 questions, right? So let's get into these reflection questions today. What truth from my life have I been hesitant to speak out? Ooh, that's a good one. What truth from my life have I been hesitant to speak out about? Now, that's personal. That is personal. Wow. I'm sitting here in my own mind thinking about, okay, what truths? Mm, there are some truths that I need to speak out. And you know what? That's part of my part of my TikTok platform. It is pretty much the spillover. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna really talk about it. It's really tea, coffee, conversation. Hmm. And so let me give you question number 2. If my story could challenge a system or mindset, what would it reveal? Mm. Okay, hold on. Let me see what's going on in the comments. Yeah, great question. I tell you, these are some questions I really want y'all to think about. I really want y'all to think about these questions. Okay, so let me give you the second question again. If my story could challenge a system or mindset, what would it reveal? What would it reveal? All right, I'm leaving those for you guys to really kind of let them steep, let it brew a little, let it listen, take the time, really think about it. Answer the questions. All it's going to do is just really open you up. That's what it's going to do. It's going to open you up, more insight. I'll reveal my life. Listen, we all got a story to tell, sis. Everybody has a story. The question is, are we willing to share it, tell the story? Because when we think about it, our stories could really be the answer to someone else's questions, what they may be dealing with, how to overcome, come through, how to win in life. You just never know what you may carry that someone else needs from you. All right. All right, guys. So guess what? It is that time. We are in the final sip right now. We, oh, I thought I closed that. Make sure you stop by and start the power of one story. Start your strategic activation. Man, I got a lot of things open. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let me get back to this. All right, it's the final sip time. So yes, this is where we bring it. We do a reflection so we can bring it to a close. So the final sip, I want to say Ida B. Wells refused to let truth stay buried. She understood that silence protects injustice, but a voice with strategy can shift the narrative. Oh, let this just, guys, you know what? See, does this apply? Does her story influence you in any way in your own life? Think about that. So here we go. As we bring this to a close, you know how we do. We sip slow. So let's reflect on truths within your story. Okay. Make it personal, make it about you. Also, stir intentionally. Just join the power of one. Um, inside the Builders Lab. I'll put that up one more time so you can see. It is open. You can go at your own pace and it's free. It's my gift to you. So if you want some more insight on your stories and how it works, then you know what? Just stop by. Stop by our school community, and it is school. It's scrolling at the bottom too. But you can join school, SKOOL.com/morning brew with Germaine. Okay. All right. And then share the brew. Yes. If any of this resonates with you, you know, send this to someone whose voice deserves to be heard, because silence does not build legacy. Strategy does. Okay. Guys, thank you so much for just stopping by for a quick coffee break. Enjoy your day. Be safe, whatever it is you do. And really, really think on this. I really want you to think on the power of one story, your story, but allow your voice to expose truth. It doesn't have to be on a large, grand scale. Nope. You can start with self. All right. Have a great day, guys. But you know what? Before we go, I got to make this announcement. I'm actually going to pull it up on the screen because tomorrow is Authors Brew Friday. And we have, yes, Fly Girl Friday. Josie, it's Authors Brew Friday, but you know what? We renamed it to Fly Girl Friday. We have Josie Harris. Now, if any of you grew up on In Living Color, back in the day, yes, Josie was one of the Fly Girls, so she is coming in studio with us tomorrow. And when I say powerful story, she has a powerful story. So she's going to take us through a journey of her story. And also the way she has pivoted, and now she's an acting coach in California, Hollywood, and she's teaching the greats on how to bring their stories to life through acting. So you definitely don't want to miss tomorrow's morning brew. So guess what, guys? I'll see you tomorrow. Me and Josie will be in studio together. All right. And on that note, guys, have a wonderful day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for coffee and conversation with Miss Josie Harris. Fly Girl Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.